Star Wars 7x7 episode 2859. So the Star Wars Celebration panel schedule has been announced, or at least most of it. And today we're going to talk about the 10 panels where we're going to get new Star Wars storytelling news, or can reasonably expect to at least. Punch it! Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So late last week, the official panel schedule for Star Wars Celebration has been announced. The panels for the three main stages at Anaheim, which would be the Celebration stage, the Galaxy stage, and the Twin Suns stage, same names as the main ones at Celebration Chicago. Those ones are published at StarWars.com, and the full panel schedule shows up at Star Wars Celebration. At least we think it's the full panel schedule. There may be more announcements coming, and we'll talk about that soon enough. But for today, we're going to focus on 10 panels that have been announced where we believe, and we've been told, I'll explain the difference too in a moment, where we're going to get new news about Star Wars storytelling. Things kick off with a bang on Thursday, where we get the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase, and they're going to be focused on live action storytelling. So they're going to have stuff about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, the Andor series, and the Mandalorian. I feel like we're not going to get a heck of a lot about the Mandalorian because of a panel happening on Saturday. That's okay. There's no mention of any sort of including but not limited to, so it would be fun to see something about the Ahsoka series, for example, but no guarantees on that, unfortunately. Just have to keep our fingers crossed for that, I guess. The second panel of the day featuring Star Wars storytelling announcements will be a Lucasfilm publishing panel happening at 1 p.m. And this one is going to feature stuff from Disney Lucasfilm Press, Del Rey, and Dark Horse. I find it interesting that Dark Horse is being included here, and it could have been included elsewhere perhaps, but yeah, we'll also talk about that too. Gosh, I'm just threading previews for this episode all the way through here. Anyway, so that panel is going to be hosted by creative director Michael Siglain, who will move from moderation to guest for the next storytelling panel, which is about the High Republic. And that one is going to be moderated by the High Republic show's Christina Ariel. It's going to feature all of the High Republic authors, or at least the first 5, along with James Waugh from Lucasfilm as well. There are going to be announcements there from phase 2 of the whole High Republic thing, Quest of the Jedi. Then moving on to Friday, still in the publishing realm, though this time it's more of the reference and other fascinating kinds of things, like from DK Publishing and Abrams and Inside Editions and those kind of stories. And then later on Friday, there's going to be a panel specific about the making of audiobook originals from Penguin Random House Audio. So they're going to be discussing things like the Dr. Aphra original and Tempest Runner, and that's one of those situations I kind of mentioned where they're not necessarily saying that there are going to be any new announcements or anything like that, but that's one where I feel like it would be silly of them not to give a hint at what the next Penguin Random House audiobook original for Star Wars is going to be. I mean, that would seem like a golden opportunity to announce whatever it is, even if they just give us a title. Moving on to Saturday, the main headline panel is called Mando Plus, a conversation with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. So that's the reason why I don't think we're going to hear a lot about The Mandalorian during the Thursday studio showcase panel, because they're going to have a whole panel to themselves, taking a look back and also a look ahead at what's to come. So yep, that's going to be a big deal. Then there's Tales of the Jedi, and I'll cast your mind back really quick to the holiday season where there had been a photo posted of a Lucasfilm holiday gift, and it included a bunch of logos for Star Wars storytelling. And one of those logos was for something called Tales of the Jedi, and people started freaking out because they were like, what's this? We haven't heard of this. This is a new thing. Well, we're going to get some insight into whatever this new thing is at Celebration. We don't have a lot right now. The panel discussion description is just really succinct. It says it's introducing Tales of the Jedi animated anthology shorts hosted by Amy Ratcliffe with special guest Dave Filoni. Fun to see that Dave Filoni's involved in this, so yes, that could be a very exciting panel for sure. Then we're going to get a Marvel Star Wars comics panel. This one will feature editor C.B. Cebulski, who runs all the Star Wars comics, and there are going to be other Star Wars associated talent related to the comics there. There are going to be announcements for that. And then finally on Saturday, and this is another one of those situations where it doesn't necessarily say we're going to get new announcements, but I have a feeling we're going to learn new stuff. There's another Del Rey publishing panel, but it's featuring in-depth discussion on the 3 most hotly anticipated Star Wars books of 2022 on the Del Rey side. That, of course, would be the Brotherhood novel, which will be out by the time Celebration happens. Also, Shadows of the Sith and The Princess and the Scoundrel. So I imagine we'll probably learn things about Shadows of the Sith and The Princess and the Scoundrel that will be new to us at that time. Brotherhood, as I said, will have been out already, so the in-depth discussion can be really in-depth as far as that goes. And finally on Sunday, the big headline event is going to be the panel for The Bad Batch Season 2, which features a bunch of the leading creatives on the show, as well as D. Bradley Baker and Michelle Ong. They're going to look back at Season 1 and also give a hint as to what's to come in Season 2. They're not necessarily saying outright that they're going to show us episodes or anything like that, but that's the sort of thing they've done in the past with other animated series, so it would be fun to be able to see that. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see whether they decide to actually announce that. I don't think they necessarily even announced that they were going to show episode previews in previous animated series events at Celebrations, but yeah, I think it's probably a likely thing to see a first episode, I would think. Fingers crossed once again. Anyway, so right there, those are the top 10 highlights for Celebration Anaheim, where we are bound to get new storytelling news, and that is going to do it for this episode of the show. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.